Let's publish our first image, and as an example we will use our PHP container. So we need to do a few first before we can continue. First of all, let's go to Docker file of our PHP. So this will be a perfect example, as we've got some additional commands running on top of base image. So first thing, we can remove them, we don't need that. Another thing is we don't need arguments. What we're gonna do, we're gonna define default values instead for our environment variables. So let me remove that, and for our IDE key we're gonna have PHP storm. For our X backboard as default we're gonna have 7765 as our env. Let me grab this from our .env. Boom. And let me remove entry points, and I'm gonna remove logs as well, so we can just remove that, delete. So we're gonna use default Docker Compose logs, so we can remove that, delete. We don't need that. This is all good. Let's go back to Docker Compose. Also we can remove that from here. And another thing we will do, we will actually copy this one into Docker file, so we don't have to mount this, and we're gonna keep our Docker Compose to bare minimum. So let me paste this, and we're gonna copy from one second, we're gonna copy from conf php.conf to, this is correct, we can remove curly braces, and this is one of the variables we are still missing in our Docker file. So let me grab this and put this in here as env, and we're going to specify default value to development, and that looks good. So let's quickly go back to Docker Compose, so we can remove this line for our volume, and for now we should be sorted. Great. So let's go back to our terminal. So now we need to build that image, and what we're gonna do, docker build. We need to specify context, which is going to be docker php, and we need tag as well, so we will have the tag workspace dash php, and we should be able to build that image. So let's try to do that. Okay, looks like our image was built. So now what we can do, we can list our images with docker images, and we will find out that our workspace PHP image was built. So as a next step, we need to log into Docker Hub with Docker CLI. So I'm gonna do this, so my password won't be visible on the screen. Now Docker login, let's do username. So what this does, this basically grab the password from my pass.txt file, and I should be able to log in. Cyber Fountain, one sec, I've got the typo now. Here we go, I was logged in successfully. So now we should be able to push. As a final step, we're gonna add additional tag to our image. So we're gonna do docker tag, and we want to tag this image with the name of the repository. So we're gonna add additional tag. So it's gonna be cyber fountain workspace-php. And now what we can do, we can just push to the repository. So we're gonna do docker push and the name of the repository, the name of the tag, and that should start pushing process. As you can see, Docker is pushing in layers. That will take a few moments. Let's just wait. Okay, looks like our image was pushed. So let's go back to the browser, and in our Docker Hub we should see our new repository. It's there. We can see the details, so we can change description and so on and so on. You can inspect tags, you can create different tags, so you can have a versioning of your images. So now, as a last step, what we're gonna do, instead of using Docker Hub to create our container, we're actually gonna use the image we just pushed to Docker Hub. So in our Docker Compose, we're gonna make a few changes. So we don't need that, and we don't need that. So what we can do, we can just say image, then we're gonna have to specify the name of the image, and we can grab it from our repository. So it's gonna be the name of the image here. So what we're gonna do, and we can also specify the tag. So we're gonna do latest. Now the arguments we were passing before, and now they're gonna have to be environment variables, so we can override them, because as you remember, we specify default values, but if you want to change them, this is how you do it. And we are missing one more. If I go back to Docker Hub, this is the Docker file I built from, so we need this one as well. And if I go back to Docker Compose, can also specify this one, and we already got this variable in our .env, so this is going to be passed. So cyber fountain, php latest, container, blah blah blah. Okay, this is all looking good. So now in theory we can even remove this directory, and we should be able to still build our container. So let's do docker compose up-d build force recreate, and let's do just for PHP, and we'll see if it's gonna start. Docker ps, and as you can see, our PHP container is running, but now it's running from our image which was pushing to the repository. So let's try to bring all containers up and see if we can actually preview our project in a browser. Yes, and looks like everything is working just fine. So let's switch to the browser and let's see if everything is still working. And as you can see, everything is still working, our configuration file, and so on and so on.